can the strongest sorcerer from Jujutsu Kaisen survive or even beat the Backrooms? Well, let's examine Gojo Satoru and see how well he would do if he no-clipped into the Backrooms. Now, before no-clipping Gojo into the Backrooms, let's first see how strong the strongest sorcerer really is. Drawing from the manga and part of the anime, Gojo is quite literally stated to be the strongest sorcerer in the modern era. Now, Gojo and the other sorcerers and even the cursed spirits all use cursed energy to do their techniques and stuff. Gojo, being the gifted sorcerer he is, can harness a lot of this energy, which allows him to do a lot of things with it. First of which is creating devastating attacks like the Hollow Purple, which is shown to be able to completely tear through similarly powerful characters, and also a few kilometers of a city on top of that. Now, Hollow Purple attacks potency does quickly decay the longer it travels, but it's still insanely destructive even at longer ranges. Now, with the colors that make up purple being blue and red, Gojo can do other offensive maneuvers. By using Lapse Blue, he can create an almost black hole-like technique which can pull things in to either crush or implode them. He can also use this technique to pull himself across large distances as well to travel much faster. With Reversal Red, he is able to push and repel all matter, which acts like a massive shockwave and explosion. Now, Gojo himself is quite strong even without boosting himself with cursed energy and techniques. This is shown in how he is real good at close quarters combat and hits pretty hard. Now, for defense, Gojo is also quite crafty and capable. With use of his infinity, he can create a barrier around himself where any attack he perceives will then have to travel infinite fractions of space, making the object slow down to a halt, never reaching him to actually hurt him. Other defensive things he can do is surround himself in cursed energy to repel or cut anything that may hit him in the Falling Blossom technique. But even without his defensive techniques, Gojo is still very durable, as in a fight with Sukuna, he was constantly cut and thrashed about and still was able to fight on par with the very strong cursed spirit. Now let's move on to how fast he is. Gojo regularly fights at hypersonic speeds and can boost himself using Lapse Blue and cursed energy. His perception is also quite great, as he is also born with the Six Eyes, allowing him to sense and detect people, cursed spirits techniques, and several other things even before they become a threat. He is also able to perceive things moving at close to light speeds, making most attacks useless as he can stop them with infinity. Now, many characters in the series have the domain expansion, with Gojo's being the Unlimited Void, where he traps someone in a space in which they will be overloaded with infinite information, which will paralyze them, making them unable to process reality as they experience everything in the universe. Gojo is able to do quite a bit more, as he has several other techniques, but ultimately he does hit a limit, as when doing so many strong attacks and techniques all at once, he does tire and start to run on empty, which makes it harder and more costly to use each powerful technique. So with the info on Gojo Satoru out of the way, let's no-clip into the Backrooms. But first, I ask if you may subscribe, as few people are subscribed that watch my videos, like the video, and also hype, as this will help me out and allows me to continue creating videos like these and others. Let's begin first with the complex. This place has the familiar and iconic yellow rooms in it, but it's different from the wiki Backrooms. In this place, all the rooms are distinct and interconnected. Sometimes you may encounter other strange places, but it's usually just the mono-yellow wallpaper. In a typical expedition into the Cane Pixel's Backrooms, you may experience some of the few entities there are, with them being either the bacterial life form or the still life. The bacteria is theorized to come from bacterial nests that appear in the Backrooms. It goes out to look for organic matter to bring back to the nest to feed its own bacteria. It runs as fast as a person and is quite a bit stronger than one. Now, the still life is a replicated human that the Backrooms made. It's a bit disfigured and aggressive, but it's still very strong and fast, similar to the bacterial life form. So how does Gojo do in the Cane Pixel's Backrooms verse? Well, he would win. This is because Gojo would be untouchable due to infinity, and could destroy either entity with ease. He would also be able to destroy large parts of the complex, and may even be able to quickly find a null zone to get out using his Six Eyes and techniques, so Gojo beats the Cane Pixel's Backrooms first. So, okay, that may have been a little anticlimactic, so let's move on over to the Backrooms wiki lore, which is much different than the Kane Pixels Backrooms lore. So let's put Gojo in the dangerous levels, starting with level 73, the Redlands, a class 5 level. This level is characterized by being an island with surrounding waters. In the island, there is an entity every 3 meters as it's completely infested with them. The sky is always dark, with the only light source being the moon, which is usually covered by black clouds. There is a red fog around and everything wants to eat you. The surrounding waters are also dangerous as they are infested with many entities, the likes of which are unidentified, as all wanderers who try to document them die. But the land entities are documented, and they are hounds, smilers, clumps, skin stealers, dullers, and death moths. The only safe place is the Silver Castle. In this castle, there's an entity called Korin, which cares and protects any who are able to get there. So how does Gojo Satoru fare in the Redlands? Well, upon arrival, he will be met with several entities, which he doesn't know anything about. Luckily, none of them can really hurt Gojo because of Infinity, and also his Falling Blossom technique makes it so if they can somehow touch him, then it won't be so fun for him. So Gojo is able to walk around without much issue. Now, upon seeing the Silver Castle, he will go there to see what's up. When he gets there, he will get in and meet Korin. Now, Gojo and Korin will not really fight, as Korin is friendly, but Gojo is able to win just in case you were wondering. So with this, Gojo is able to find a way out, as he can easily go through this level, as its only dangers are the entities, which most won't be able to handle the Strongest Sorcerer for various reasons. So by traveling through levels, Gojo now appears in the level exclamation point, or level run for your life. Now in this level there's a 10-kilometer hallway that you have to run through until the end. This hallway is reminiscent of modern-day hospital hallways, with obstacles and some traps like holes in the floor and exposed wiring. Other characteristics of this level are that there are several other doors that are not the exit that will lead you to either empty rooms or to the Backrooms Void. Turns are present in the hallway, but are very few. But now what makes this level dangerous is that you are chased by several entities that will try to eat you, and there's really no way to hide, only run towards the exit. So Gojo goes in and he is put in the starting area, where he has only a few seconds before the entities burst down the door and start to attack him. Now Gojo has two options here: run towards the exit or stand and fight. If Gojo stands and fights, then he would only have to clear through a few waves of entities, as they are not infinite in this level. If he chooses to run, then he just has to get through 10 kilometers of distance, which he can easily do. Either way, he still has to get to the true exit door to escape, which with the 6 eyes, he is able to easily find. Now, there is a possibility that he may go to the Void out of curiosity, since some of the doors do lead there, but instead he may choose to find the exit to continue exploring these strange liminal places. After stepping out of the exit door from Level Run for Your Life, Entity 555, the game creators, start to take notice of Gojo, as he is easily clearing the backrooms so far, so they bring him to their own level, Game Over. This level has several hallways with some doors. The level also has dark areas which may lead to the Void if not careful. In this place, it gets more difficult as you have to play the game made by the game creators. They may scale the difficulty depending on how bad or good you are at surviving, so for Gojo they are going max difficulty. At first, Gojo appears and he explores a bit, but after some time, entities start to appear and they are much stronger and faster. Gojo, being surprised by this, is ready for the challenge, and still the entities are not strong enough. Later on, liquid pain droops from the ceiling. Now this stuff dissolves skin and is painful, which Gojo quickly finds out, as it does get to him at least once, since Gojo primarily uses Infinity on opponents, not liquids. So he adapts Infinity to stop the dripping liquid if it ever does try to reach him. Now, seeing as Gojo is not having as much trouble as they would have wanted him to, the game changers go straight to their highest difficulty immediately. This is where the entities are empowered as much as they can be by the game changers, and the game changers start to attack Gojo as well. Liquid pain is almost everywhere, and Gojo is still getting through without too much difficulty. After some back and forth, the game changers see that Gojo is having too much fun and then admit defeat, as neither they or the entities could really do much, so they send Gojo to another level as he won. Now, Gojo thus far has not had too many problems, as with only a few techniques he's able to protect himself and get rid of most entities. So he continues on for a bit until he is randomly transported to level you cheated. Someone is coming. This is due to destroying parts of the levels, entities, and breaking other Backrooms rules. The entirety of the Backrooms is now out to get him because of this. In this level, you are first put into a room full of old defunct electronics. After a few minutes, the level starts to corrode and everything falls apart. The electronics also spontaneously combust and explode. Outside of this area, there is the hallways, which also fall apart. Then there is the arcade zone, which has two different arcade machines. The ones with you cheated on them, which if you interact with them you die instantly, and the ones where if you put a coin in, then you will escape the level. There is a secret zone 4, which is just an inescapable white room with a TV saying, "You lost, no escape," which is accessed if you go to a pole in the arcade area. Now, Gojo in this room strolls around waiting for stuff to happen, which it does. He avoids the corroding environment and the exploding electronics, and makes his way into the hallways. Now, due to him being able to run pretty fast, he is mostly unbothered by the falling walls, and then he finds the arcade machines. Now, this may be a problem. If he touches the bad machines, then they may kill him or, more realistically, hurt him badly, which is what happens. But he is able to partially survive and heal himself with cursed energy, making it so he survives this without too much issue. So he continues on looking for a way out until he gets a coin, which then he thinks to put in one of the machines that doesn't have the "you cheated" text on it. So he goes over to this machine ready for something bad to happen, but it doesn't. He successfully puts in the quarter and he gets out and is sent away from this level. Now, normally you would get sent to a random level, but the Backrooms doesn't like how Gojo survived touching the arcade machines and getting through even this level quite easily. So he gets sent to a level you cheated, again. Now, this level is a little bit different, but still similar, as both of these levels have two distinct versions depending on the wiki, but let's just see what happens if Gojo is sent to this one. When in here, Gojo is stuck in a simple room with only a white door. He waits for a bit for something to happen, and the door opens to the void. He looks in, walks a bit, and even tries to illuminate the surroundings, but he does so with no avail. Then he goes back into the room. After some time, he becomes impatient and starts to destroy the environment to see if that can get him out of there. This is a mistake, as now he's just left in the void with no room or anything, as he unknowingly cheated and is now trapped in the void, where he can't no-clip even if he used his cursed energy to force it to happen. So Gojo is able to go through the Backrooms and its entities quite easily, but he cannot go against the Backrooms as a whole, since it is a reality warping place that controls what goes on inside of it. Because of this, Gojo may survive and beat majority of levels, but if he is unable to no-clip, or is not allowed to no-clip by the Backrooms, then he is essentially stuck, as he has no higher level reality warping abilities that would usurp control from the Backrooms, from within itself. Some environmental threat levels could be somewhat problematic due to their weird enigmatic nature, but Gojo is able to survive due to his intelligence and crafty nature, along with, of course, the cursed energy. So it takes the entirety of the Backrooms to beat him because it has reality warping capabilities that Gojo really doesn't.